Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 2017 Cactus Bowl Media Teleconference call with our coaches for the big game this year, which is December 26th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix, which will provide a unique experience for all alike in turning a Major League ballpark into a football field. So we're excited about the matchup between Kansas State from the Big 12 and UCLA from the Pac-12. An ironic fact is this is the third time that these two teams will face each other, which is one of the neat things about bowl season, is being able to match up teams that normally don't play one another and having a unique experience. So we're excited about that. First, we're going to have Coach Fisch give an opening statement, then Coach Snyder, and then we'll open it up for questions with directions from the operator. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Coach Fisch to talk about UCLA's first ever Cactus Bowl appearance. Coach, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. And just wanted to say how excited we are at UCLA and how excited I am to lead this football team to the Cactus Bowl. We have great respect for Coach Snyder, for Kansas State football, for the Big 12 Conference, and we're really excited about representing the Pac-12 in this situation. I know it'll be an exciting game for our players, for our fan base, and what we're really excited about here is our coaches and players have been through a lot the last few weeks, and to be able to unite one last time in 2017 as the Bruin football team and go compete on ESPN, and this football game is just really exciting for all of us. So I think we've got a team that's really excited for the challenge, and we know it's going to be a challenge, and we have a team that's really looking forward to spending Christmas in the desert and an opportunity to go out there and compete with Kansas State.
Thank you, Coach. And Coach Snyder really needs no introduction for his historic career at Kansas State. He's a great friend and advocate of both the Fiesta Bowl and the Cactus Bowl. This is the seventh time Kansas State will come to the Valley of the Sun, with 3 appearances in the Fiesta Bowl and 3 appearances in the Cactus Bowl. Coach, I believe you have 18 bowl appearances overall. It's quite impressive. So welcome to number 19, and we're happy to have you. So please go ahead and take the line.
Well, I thank you very, very much. You'll have to excuse my voice, but the opportunity to be once again in the desert is something that our players and the people that travel with us and our staff and their families have always enjoyed, and certainly will enjoy the time there. Again, the opportunities that are provided through the bowl have been very special to all of our program. People have been very gracious to us, and we look forward to returning. Certainly, the opponent, UCLA, is a very, very fine football team that went through some difficult times during the course of the season and a number of injuries, but I think they'll be healthy for the ball game, and they're more than a formidable opponent. Our players, as Jedd indicated, with UCLA, our players are excited about the opportunity to be in another bowl game, and they take none of them lightly. I think we remember playing in the, I think it may have been the first Copper Bowl, or pretty close to it, back in 93, 93, or 94, somewhere in there, and we had 22,500 people at the bowl, first one that I went to in my career here, and the people were overjoyed. It was a wonderful experience, and each one thereafter, has become very, very special. And so anyway, our people are looking forward to it, and I'm grateful and thankful that we have the opportunity.
Thank you, Coach. Before we get into questions, you're right. That was 1993, Kansas State 52, Wyoming 17. Another neat fact about Kansas State, real quick before we get into questions, is that the second highest attended Cactus Bowl game ever was the 2013 matchup between Kansas State and Michigan, with 53,284 fans at that game. So just some backup information on what Coach just referred to. Operator, we'll now move into the questions, please.
At this time, I would like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question comes from the line of Ben Butch of Los Angeles Times. Your line is open.
Hi, Coach Fisch. 2 questions for you, if I could. First, could we get a Josh Rosen update? Obviously, he went down against Cal, didn't play in the second half. And then also wondering, just philosophically, how you go into this game coaching-wise. Do you coach the same way you did against Cal, or do you blend in anything new as a nod to the direction of the team next season under Coach Kelly?
And then first thing regarding Josh, we've had 2 practices so far, and Josh has participated in both of those practices, fully participated in both of those practices. So very fortunate in that regard that he has been able to do that and has thrown the ball very well and has moved well. In regards to preparation, we are playing this game as the 2017 Bruins, not the 2018 Bruins. So all of our focus will be on what we have done, what we've built, what we've established, and what we've done schematically from January 14th offensively till today, and what we've done defensively over the last 6 years. So in terms of that aspect of it, we are fully on board as the staff that is coaching the 2017 team.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
The next question comes from the line of Scott Buchanan of GoPowerCat.com. Your line is open.
Yes, this is for Coach Snyder. Coach, sometimes seasons don't particularly start out the way you might have intended or hoped, but what to say about this team that you were able to finish strong down the stretch like you guys have done through the years, and what kind of momentum does this team carry into the final bowl game?
Well, I'm certainly pleased with the progress that the young people in our program made during the course of the latter part of the season. Kind of the lull in between, which has happened to us 2 years in succession, really needs a great deal of attention. It was a very disappointing time during that stretch in the middle, but as you would hope for and expect and ask of your players, I thought they responded quite well. Obviously played well in the last several ball games of the year. And hopefully last year when we came back and finished the season quite well, I think we won 6 or 7 last year at the end, and that propelled us into the bowl game, I thought, with a very positive approach, and hopefully the finish this year will be the same for our ball game with UCLA.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The next question comes from the line of Kelly Robinette of Wichita EO. Your line is open.
Was that me?
Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Question for Coach Snyder, 2 actually. First off, just do you have any first impressions on UCLA? Do you know anything about them yet? And I know it's a little bit different quirk this year to have the week off before you start bowl prep. How did you use that? Did you practice last week, and what did you do?
Okay, well, I'll answer the last question first. We did not practice this past week. They're getting prepared for final exams, and they certainly needed a rest. Our open date, now that we're down to just one open date within the conference, but within the season in conference play, came after the second ball game. So consequently, they've had a full go for 10, 11 weeks in a row and needed some time off. And so we reported in that we will start up, again this coming week. I think the players, relished the time off, and it was I think, beneficial for them in a lot of different ways, particularly academics, but also just to get freshened up, so to speak. And the other part of the question was?
UCLA, just what are your initial thoughts on the Bruins and what kind of matchup problems they pose for you?
Well, I just remember UCLA from a couple of years ago, and they were a very fine football team at the time, and I haven't had a chance to, look at their roster and nor see any tape of them this year. I would imagine that a number of those players that made the trip last time we played are still in the program. And I think they've had and again, I don't know a great deal outside of Kansas State, but it appears like they had kind of a rough season, kind of like we did, in terms of having some profile players injured and a lot of the the turmoil that comes with a staff change. So I commend them for finishing the season well and earning the opportunity to play in a bowl game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
While we wait, again, if you have questions, go ahead and please follow the operator's instructions. But just wanted to remind everybody about our website, which is cactusbowl.com. And for social media, it's at @cactus_bowl would be the way to find us. Credential applications are open through the sportsystems.com system. If you're looking to go ahead and secure your credentials, Media Day is planned for a few days before. We are finalizing the details, and we'll send that information out. If we don't have any further questions, we'll thank Coach Fisch and Coach Snyder for their time and look forward to seeing them here in the Valley of the Sun. Operator?
We have a question from Corbin McQuire of Catholics. Your line is open.
This is for Coach Snyder. I know your team received some sad news this weekend with the passing of Caden Schroeder, a young boy who came very close to your program throughout the years. Can you describe just the impact you saw him have on your players and maybe what you admired about him?
Well, Caden, was well ingrained into our system. Ryan Mueller, who played for us a few years back, adopted him, so to speak, for our team and would bring him from Kansas City into Manhattan. Always attended ball games. We'd bring him to practices. We let him run the ball in a spring game one year, and he was excited about that. It was an exciting time, and for him, and certainly for the vast majority of our players who really have embraced he and his family over these years. His passing meant a great deal to so many of the Kansas State people and players in particular. He's just you'd never know that he was ill. When we had him around the program, and he handled himself so very well. But it's been a sad time, and I've had calls from a number of players who have since graduated and gone on, who want to try to build a group of people to go to the funeral and to try to help him out in some other ways, help his family out in some other ways. So, he was very meaningful to so many players in our program and coaches as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
The next question comes from the line of Ben Balch of Los Angeles Times. Your line is open.
Coach Snyder, I did not cover the Alamo Bowl when you faced UCLA, but in reading about that, it seemed that there may have been some hard feelings at the end of that game over something happened toward the end of the game. Can you comment on that? I mean, some of the players said that they didn't want to. Some other players didn't want to shake hands, and there were some perfunctory handshakes after the game. Can you comment on the end of that game and what happened?
Well, I don't know about handshakes and whether that's an accurate statement or not, but and I understand. It was UCLA was ahead, and we're running the clock out, and one of our players, jumped when the ball was snapped, jumped between two of the offensive players in an attempt to force a fumble, perhaps, and give us at least one last shot. Wasn't received well, and I understand, why, but would have caused any injuries, and that was certainly something we wouldn't condone. But it was just a young man that didn't want to give up and was making a last-ditch effort, which failed, and then it caused some ill feelings, I think.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You bet.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Coach Fisch and Coach Snyder for joining us this afternoon amidst the exciting announcement and all their preparations and recruiting and the like. And thank you to the media for participating and attending our teleconference. So once again, please let us know how we can help you here at the Cactus Bowl office in Scottsdale. And we look forward to seeing everybody here back in the Valley of the Sun later this month. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, media.
Well, thank you
very
much. And, Jeff, best wishes to you, and I look forward to seeing you when we get there.
Thank you. You too, Coach. Take care.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye now.